Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Thursday, July 31st. Happy end of July. Happy Thursday, everybody. The Dong Report is back in your life. Granted, it's a very light MLB betting slate today, which we're going to talk about. So I'm only going to have four guys on Dong Watch, four players, I should say, on Dong Watch for today. We're going to get into all that, but before we do, let's do a recap from yesterday, which ended up being a pretty decent day overall. Had ended up profiting 0.86 units. Thank you to Colson Montgomery and Kerry Carpenter for coming through with home runs, giving ourselves a nice profit. It was nice to have that. Not that 0.86 units is amazing, but considering the last couple days hadn't been great, it was nice to have a day in the green. I will say a couple frustrating things about yesterday. I took for like 3 days straight, I had both Randy Arozarena and Julio Rodriguez to hit home runs. None of them hit home runs on like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday when I had them. Guess what? Both of them hit a home run last night when I didn't have them. Frustrating. It happens. And I will say, for those of you that don't like taking players who just hit a home run the day before, definitely a argument in favor of you based on yesterday. Jonathan Aranda, Kyle Schwarber, and Riley Green all hit home runs on Tuesday and did not hit home runs on yesterday. Now, I don't seek out players that hit home runs the previous day. Like, 3 of the 7 players that I had yesterday did. But I also don't avoid them. But yesterday, if I had avoided them, would have been a much better day. Regardless, on the entire year, up 1.62 units if you have taken every single one of my plays with my unit size guiding with an ROI of 1.41%. Now, the only reason why I have this number, just to give you guys context, profit if putting 1 unit on every single home run play. I don't recommend doing that because if you look at yesterday, I would have put, if I would have put 1 unit on every single player, we would have profited 5.75 units. That's a pretty good day. We also would have risked 7 units. And days like Tuesday, where you go 0 for 8, we're down 8 units. Days like Sunday, where we go 0 for 9, we're down 9 units. So all in all, it's just a little bit too much variance with home run betting. But hey, if you want to do that, props to you. As for today, there's really only one game that I like from a home run perspective. It's this Yankee Stadium game. Technically, the Reds Braves game is decent weather. Granted, this actually isn't being played at the Great American Ballpark. It's being played at like some racetrack. So the outfield dimensions, like this isn't correct. And I don't really trust either of the Braves or the Reds bats. So I avoided that game. Didn't like this game either. But Yankee Stadium, pretty juicy. I mean, it's always going to be good for home runs with the short right field porch. For today, it's decent temperatures in the 80s. Granted, there are winds blowing in, so that's not going to help with trajectory. It's not an incredible day, but it's the only one, in my opinion, that I like. So I'm just spraying the board with 4 players in that game. We'll start with 2 players on the Rays, Brandon Lowe and Junior Caminero. So I'm not going with Jonathan Aranda, who's probably now going to hit a home run because I had him yesterday. The pitcher they're going up against is Marcus Stroman. He's been hit or miss. Now, you look at him on the year, he has allowed a home run every 22 at-bats. That's below average. He's been better against righties, so admittedly for Junior Caminero, doesn't look as good. But you look into his numbers, like sure, the barrel rate is not terrible. The hard hit rate is kind of high. The fly ball plus line drive rate is lower than what you would like. That Sierra is super high, which just measures the quality of the batted balls the pitcher allows, when also taking into account walks and strikes and strikeouts, I should say. And that strikeout rate is super low. So players are consistently making contact with Marcus Stroman. And then he's really struggled against lefties. Home run every 16 at-bats to lefties. That's disgusting. The 2 biggest pitches that are issues for him are the sinker and the cutter, 2 left-handed hitters. And these numbers across the board, I mean, you just see a lot of red. The line drive rate is low. The fly ball rate is not terrible. Everything else is really, really bad. Now, for Brandon Lowe, he missed a couple weeks, just came back yesterday. Had 3 hard hits yesterday, which was nice to see. His first game back had a double, 3 hard hits, as you can see. None of them were real home run threats. He had a ground out that was 101. He had a single that was 100.7. And then he had a pop out that was 95. So those were his 3 hard hits. Not incredible. It was also his first day back, so it was nice to see him even getting those hard hits yesterday. But the reason I like him, he's a lefty at Yankee Stadium. That's always going to be what you like to see. And he has a pretty good pull rate of almost 50%. That's perfect for the stadium that he's playing in today, Yankee Stadium. Also, the dimensions of his home stadium. Super short right field porch, so you don't need to hit the ball as far when you hit it to right field. So with the winds blowing in, anything hit to right field is going to be helpful because it doesn't need to travel as far. And his pull rate of 48% is really good. His fly ball rate is not what you would hope. 37% is lower than what it typically is. As you can see, he's normally a 40% fly ball rate guy, so hopefully he gets that number up a little bit more. But it does look good from a pitch mix perspective. We're looking at the entire season here. Pitch number 1, the sinker. Brandon Lowe, really good barrel rate, really good hard hit rate. Fly ball rate is a little bit low. Granted, sinker is not really a home run pitch, but he never strikes out. Those are really, really good numbers against the sinker. Against the cutter, also really, really, really good numbers. 16% barrel rate, 61% hard hit rate, 22% fly ball rate. The ISO rate is very good on cutters as well. Like all these numbers are really good. Strikeout rate is higher, but that's okay. So he hits the pitch mix well. And then as for Junior Caminero, he's been hitting well recently. You look at his last 3 games, 3 hard hits in a barrel, 2 hard hits, 2 hard hits. That came off of 2 pretty tough games in a row, which is just kind of how things go. And then you go back even further, 2 hard hits, 2 barrels, 2 hard hits, 4 hard hits, 2 barrels. So generally hitting pretty well since the return of the All-Star break and hitting well recently. 7 hard hits in his last 3 games is pretty impressive. And then Stroman, as I mentioned, against righties, he is a little bit better, but throws the sinker like half the time. And again, like he's better against righties, but to me, he's not anybody that you want to completely avoid. And the Yankees bullpen is kind of a mess because they've had a bunch of players go a bunch of days in a row, so they're not going to have their best arms. So even if it's not off of Stroman, it could be off of a bullpen guy. But what I want to show you is Caminero also has really good numbers against the sinker, which is what he's going to see over half the time. And that's what Stroman, obviously, as you can see here, predominantly throws to righties. And Junior Caminero, 5 home runs hit off of the sinker from righties this year. 11% barrel rate is decent. 60% hard hit rate is really good. And then a lower fly ball rate, which is, of course, going to be the case because that's how things go with the sinker. But generally, hits it really, really well. So I like both those guys on the Rays, both those players, Brandon Lowe and Junior Caminero. Next up, the 2 players on the Yankees, taking Cody Bellinger to hit a home run, and I am taking Trent Grisham. Now, of the 4 players, Grisham did hit a home run yesterday. So for those of you that completely want to avoid players that did that, you're not going to like Grisham. Again, I don't seek them out. Doesn't bother me either. The odds on these guys I should have given you earlier. Another reason why I like this game, the odds, granted because the weather or the wind is not ideal, the odds are not terrible. Grisham, plus 400 is a pretty good price. Ballpark Pal has his true odds at plus 367. Brandon Lowe, plus 450 is a decent price. Ballpark Pal has his true odds at plus 421. Cody Bellinger is best offered at plus 475. Another slight positive EV play according to Ballpark Pal. And then the only one that's not is Junior Caminero, who we're getting at plus 500, who FanDuel has at 370. I like examples where FanDuel is much bigger off the market than what we're getting. That's a pretty big jump. And Caminero is typically in the 300, so getting him at 500 is a pretty decent price. And then you can also get him at 475 on a couple books and 450 on DK. So a lot of availability for him. So the reason I like Grisham, we'll start with him. Yes, I know he hit a home run yesterday. He's not going to wow you with hard hits and barrels. Like since the All-Star break, it's been about 13 days, 12 days since the All-Star break. 12 hard hits and 4 barrels is not incredible. It's respectable. I love that pull rate. Almost 70% of the time he is pulling it. Now, the fly ball rate is low, 34% fly ball rate. You want that number to be higher, but you look at him on the year, and his fly ball rate is generally better than what he's done the last 14 days. Like you look at him on the year, his fly ball rate is typically 43%. That's a healthy number with a pull rate of about 50%. That's pretty good. You look at his splits, he generally hits more home runs at home. His ISO rate at home is actually ISO rate is better away, which is not what I would have expected. I thought it was the opposite. I must have been mixing him up with another batter. But regardless, that pull rate is going to be very, very helpful at Yankee Stadium. And then Bellinger has been kind of similar. He's been decent recently, 14 hard hits over the last 2 weeks is pretty good. The barrels aren't quite there. The fly ball rate is high. The pull rate is low. So he's kind of the opposite of Trent Grisham, where he's doing a good job putting the ball in the air. Just isn't quite pulling it as much, but that's okay because the fly ball rate is as good as it is. That launch angle is exactly what you look for in terms of an average launch angle. Ryan Pepiot is pitching for the Rays. Pepe Le Pew. He's technically worse from a home run perspective against righties despite being a right-handed pitcher. But you look at him against lefties, it's kind of similar. It's nothing really that I'm scared of. Home run every 26 at-bats on the year is not terrible. Recently, you look at him and how he has performed against lefties. It's about the same in terms of home runs, but a lot of his other numbers are a lot worse. Like the Sierra went up, barrel rate went up, hard hit rate up. Line drive plus fly ball rate above 50% is not terrible based on how Game Day Insights tracks it. And then, yeah, it's the lefty batters at Yankee Stadium that you really like. And Bellinger, I mean, I don't put a ton on batter versus pitcher, but Bellinger has taken him yard earlier this year. He hit a home run off of him on 420. Classic day for Bellinger to hit a home run. That one was hit pretty hard, 103 exit velocity, traveled 386 feet. And then Grisham doesn't have the same history against him. I mean, he does have a home run on the same day, actually, but has a longer history of not as much success. But I like the 3 flyouts. That's good. But yeah, it's the lefties at Yankee Stadium. It's a pitcher that is not really anybody that I'm scared of. And the only game that I really like from a home run perspective, like nobody on the Rays or the Braves is really hitting that well. So I mean, Michael Harris is, but then Andrew Abbott is pitching for the Reds. And Abbott is a lefty, and I don't want to take Michael Harris against the lefty. Nobody on the Reds is hitting that well. And then the Rangers and the Mariners game I don't really like as well. So just rocking with the 4 guys on the Yankees, 4 players on the Yankees. And that's all we got. So the 4 players that I'm rocking with are Brandon Lowe and Junior Caminero for the Rays side, Trent Grisham and Cody Bellinger on the Yankee side. Pretty decent price on these guys, on these players, which I like. The books are definitely factoring in the wind blowing in, but I think we do have an advantage with the 3 lefties at Yankee Stadium, and then Caminero, who just hits absolute nukes, could also go yard as well. That's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. This is my Tails account where I send every play out if you want to ride with me. Also have a link to Ballpark Pal if you want to check them out as well. Thanks for watching. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.